Last Guardian has the highest highs and lowest lows of nearly any game I've ever reviewed. When it works, the bond I forged with my furry and feathered friend Trico is unlike any other. Part playful companion and part protector, navigating Team Eco's oftentimes gorgeous world alongside this bird dog is something I will never forget. But between those moments, The Last Guardian is a mess of wonky controls, a poor camera, and some annoyingly finicky puzzles. Fumito Ueda's spiritual successor to Ico and Shadow of the Colossus touches on many of the same themes: isolation, companionship, and sacrifice. Like its predecessors, you're thrown into a mysterious world with a story open to interpretation and built mostly on symbolism. The heart of The Last Guardian is the bond between the nameless boy and Trico, who has more life and personality than nearly any other AI companion I've ever seen in a game. Like an actual pet, Trico has a mind of his own, but he's usually predictable. Subtle touches like the way he shakes off when he's wet or stretches his legs after you make it to a more open area give him a life of his own. You don't have direct control of Trico, just a series of vague commands and gestures that nudge the beast to jump, swipe, or head in a general direction. Herein lies one of The Last Guardian's most conflicting features. I love the concept of not physically maneuvering Trico in that it preserves the feeling that he's an independent and intelligent creature. Entering an environment and figuring out what he can climb, destroy, or interact with requires a healthy dose of careful observation. The problem here is that there were countless times when I mentally solved the puzzle and knew exactly what to do, only to find that Trico stubbornly refused to go to the spot I needed him to get to. Whether he was facing the wrong direction and refused to turn around, or was just a few steps to either side of where he needed to be to initiate a jump, I found myself becoming exhausted by his refusal to heed my commands. A little bit of this obstinance added to Trico's charm, but most of the time, it just bombarded me with frustration and made me lose any feeling that I existed in the world. Aside from some light platforming, a bulk of the obstacles in The Last Guardian come in the form of puzzles like scouring an area in search of food for Trico, or destroying the stained glass eyes that terrify the beast. There are also enemies in the world that you're mostly defenseless against on your own, so you'll have to figure out how to lure them to Trico or vice versa. As you've noticed by now, the vast outdoor environments are nothing short of stunning. The colors, lighting, and architecture are unlike anything I've seen outside of Team Eco's games, and they especially shine during the thrilling chase sequences. This, coupled with a fantastic score, made for a whole mess of unforgettable moments in the 12 hours it took me to complete it. Then you go indoors, and many of the cramped interiors feel drab and highlight The Last Guardian's huge camera issues. Given that you're generally right next to a giant creature, prepare for the camera to be completely blocked by a screen full of feathers, walls, and foliage on a regular basis. When you're trying to deal with that and the floaty controls and obtrusive climbing system at the same time, it blows a lot of the goodwill that had been built up by the outdoor areas. I can't count the number of times I got stuck while trying to scurry up Trico's back or even trying to dismount the critter. The divide between the highs and lows of The Last Guardian is staggering. For every wonderful moment of absolute beauty and emotional attachment to his lifelike companion, there's an equal and opposite baffling moment that ruins the mood with frustrating controls and camera angles. But I found myself willing to put up with all of these hiccups if it meant experiencing another moment like this. For more on The Last Guardian, you're already in the right place. IGN.